Question 361. What role does student feedback play in your instructional design, and how do you implement it? Student feedback is integral to my instructional design, providing valuable insights into the effectiveness of my teaching. I gather feedback through mid-semester surveys, anonymous suggestion boxes, and informal discussions after class. Analyzing this feedback helps me identify areas for improvement, such as pacing, clarity of content, and engagement strategies. I implement changes based on the feedback, which might involve adjusting lesson plans, incorporating more interactive elements, or providing additional resources. By actively responding to student input, I demonstrate that their voices matter, fostering a more engaged and responsive learning environment. Question 362. How would you incorporate project-based learning into your curriculum? Incorporating project-based learning, PBL, into my curriculum involves designing real-world projects that align with course objectives. I start by identifying relevant industry challenges or community needs that students can address through collaborative projects. Students work in teams to research, plan, and execute their projects, allowing them to apply theoretical knowledge in practical scenarios. Throughout the process, I provide guidance and facilitate reflection, encouraging students to assess their learning and the project's impact. By integrating PBL, students develop critical thinking, collaboration, and communication skills, which are essential for their future careers. Question 363. What are some effective methods you use to motivate students who may be disinterested in the subject matter? Motivating disinterested students requires understanding their individual interests and learning styles. I use real-world applications and case studies relevant to their lives to demonstrate the subject's value. Incorporating gamification elements, such as competition or rewards for participation, can also spark interest. I provide opportunities for students to pursue topics they are passionate about within the curriculum, allowing for autonomy in their learning. Additionally, fostering a supportive classroom culture where students feel safe to express their thoughts and questions encourages engagement. Regularly checking in with students to discuss their progress and challenges can further enhance motivation and investment in the subject. Question 364. How would you leverage online resources to enhance student learning in your courses? Leveraging online resources involves curating a mix of multimedia content, interactive platforms, and academic articles that complement the curriculum. I recommend online tutorials, coding exercises, and simulations to reinforce concepts learned in class. Integrating discussion boards or forums encourages peer-to-peer interaction, fostering a collaborative learning environment. Additionally, I utilize educational platforms like Coursera or edX to provide students with access to specialized courses and certifications. Incorporating these resources allows students to engage with diverse materials at their own pace, catering to different learning styles while enhancing their overall educational experience. Question 365. Describe a time when you had to adapt your teaching style to meet the needs of a specific student or group of students. Once I had a class where several students struggled with abstract concepts in a programming course. To adapt my teaching style, I shifted from traditional lectures to a more hands-on approach. I introduced visual aids and real-life analogies to explain complex topics, making them more relatable. Additionally, I implemented pair programming exercises to encourage collaboration and peer learning. This shift allowed students to engage more actively with the material, and I noticed a significant improvement in their understanding. This experience reinforced my belief in the importance of flexibility and responsiveness in teaching, ensuring that all students can succeed. Question 366. What techniques do you use to encourage critical thinking and problem-solving skills in your students? To encourage critical thinking and problem-solving skills, I employ techniques such as case studies, Socratic questioning, and project-based assignments. Case studies present real-world scenarios that require students to analyze information and propose solutions collaboratively. Socratic questioning promotes deeper understanding, prompting students to justify their reasoning and consider different perspectives. I also design projects that challenge students to identify problems, research solutions, and present their findings. By fostering a classroom culture that values inquiry and exploration, I help students develop essential skills that will benefit them in both academic and professional contexts. Question 367. How do you handle conflicts or disagreements among students during collaborative projects? Handling conflicts during collaborative projects involves first facilitating open communication among the students involved. I encourage them to express their perspectives and listen to each other's viewpoints. If necessary, I mediate the discussion to ensure a constructive dialogue. I emphasize the importance of teamwork and respect, reminding students that diverse opinions can lead to better outcomes. Additionally, I guide them in establishing clear roles and responsibilities within the group to minimize misunderstandings. If conflicts persist, I may suggest restructuring the group or offering individual assignments to ensure all students remain engaged and accountable for their learning. Question 368. How do you prepare students for the workforce, particularly in terms of soft skills? Preparing students for the workforce involves explicitly incorporating soft skills training into the curriculum. I integrate activities that promote effective communication, teamwork, and problem-solving, such as group projects and presentations. Role-playing scenarios allow students to practice interpersonal skills in a safe environment. I also emphasize the importance of networking and professional etiquette, often inviting guest speakers from various industries to share their experiences. Providing feedback on both technical and soft skills helps students understand their strengths and areas for improvement. By fostering an environment that values both hard and soft skills, I equip students to thrive in their future careers. Question 369. In terms of cloud computing, how would you introduce concepts to students with no prior experience? Introducing cloud computing concepts to students with no prior experience involves breaking down complex ideas into relatable terms. I start with fundamental concepts, such as what cloud computing is and its advantages, using analogies like comparing cloud storage to a virtual filing cabinet. Interactive demonstrations of platforms like AWS or Google Cloud help visualize these concepts in action. I incorporate hands-on exercises, such as setting up a simple cloud environment, to foster engagement and practical understanding. By gradually building on their knowledge and providing real-world examples, I can effectively guide students through the learning process, ensuring they grasp the relevance of cloud technologies. Question 370. How do you ensure that your teaching practices align with the institution's mission and values? Aligning my teaching practices with the institution's mission and values starts with understanding those core principles. I regularly review the college's mission statement and strategic goals to ensure my curriculum promotes inclusivity, accessibility, and student success. I incorporate these values into my teaching by fostering a supportive environment that encourages diverse perspectives and active engagement. I actively participate in faculty development programs to align my teaching with institutional initiatives, sharing insights with colleagues to promote a cohesive approach. By continuously reflecting on my practices and seeking feedback, I ensure that my teaching contributes positively to the institution's mission.